Our heart goes out to all the families that are trying to put things back together, and certainly for those who have been injured and those who have died.
We didn't really, I think, have time to think. I had told my mom, like, she was like, well, why didn't you take cover? Why didn't you? And I'm like, you don't see it until you see it.
I almost made it to the bathtub, but I wasn't completely in the bathtub when the tornado just shook the whole mobile, and I knew that it had moved us.
What we saw was devastation.
They're asking for help, and we're part of this community, so we're just reaching out to help the community.
People will rally, people will, collect clothing, they'll collect, whatever they need to make sure that they're okay.
We begin with the biggest story of the day. The WTOL 11 weather team confirms multiple tornadoes touched down in Ohio last night, at least 2 here in northwest Ohio. And the National Weather Service announced a short time ago an EF3 tornado tore through Logan County, leaving a trail of destruction there. And it was deadly. 3 people were killed. Everyone else is accounted for.
Meanwhile, in Hancock County, the National Weather Service saying that an EF1 tornado touched down there last night. It was on the ground for 6 minutes with wind speeds reaching 100 miles per hour. Our Tatiana Cash spent the day there getting a firsthand look at the damage and speaking with residents. We'll get to her in just a moment. But first,
nothing prepared me in regard to what we'd been hearing and the pictures for actually driving around and seeing the damage. There's a tremendous amount of damage here.
The communities around Indian Lake in Logan County, southwest of Wapakoneta, were slammed with that EF3 tornado. John Monk has been there all day and shares how this tourism community is recovering.
Right where US 33 bends around Indian Lake, the small communities of Lakeview, Russell's Point, and Orchard Island are now in shambles following an EF2 tornado. Residents all say they took shelter right as the warning sounded, but that did not prepare them for the devastation that followed.
But once we finally got outside, because we was leery of even moving, and we got outside and everyone had their phones out, but you really couldn't see none of the devastation until this morning. Yeah.
First responders from surrounding counties flowed in overnight and, according to County Sheriff Randall Dodds, worked straight through until 4 a.m. to clear 1,700 homes, confirming 3 fatalities and accounting for everyone in their community.
First responders, but also neighbors, volunteers, people from the community, bringing their chainsaws, bringing generators, trying to help with the needs that people have.
Now, so far we've been showing you all of the destruction of last night's tornado, but the lasting impact I really think that we want to show you is the community outpouring support for this Indian Lake community, especially from neighboring Bell Fountain, where all of this donated material has been brought in less than 24 hours.
What we see in this gym, I think, is symbolic and real, but of the spirit of the people of this part of Ohio.
All day, donations have poured into the high school, which is also acting as a shelter for displaced residents. Local officials say they will begin accepting donations again Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Reporting from Logan County, I'm John Monk, WTOL 11.
Those storms caused neighbors to rally around one another as some residents needed more help than others. Rather than just some debris in the field for some, it was a roof of a nearby home that was destroyed. Tatiana Cash, she was in Hancock County. She saw what the damage did.
Yes, Jess, this was just east of Bluff and Genera, just south of Hancock County there. There were reports of more than 5 homes damaged, and the ones I saw, it was heartbreaking. One area I stopped in, the home, you can see there the barn as well as a neighboring barn all lost their roofs. There was clothing as well as pieces of metal thrown in the yard, in the trees. And of course, there were downed power cables, tree limbs everywhere. I did get a chance to speak with the homeowner's sister-in-law, and she agrees everyone is thankful no one was hurt and everything lost is replaceable.
No, we didn't really, I think, have time to think. I had told my mom, like, she was like, well, why didn't you take cover? Why didn't you? And I'm like, you don't see it till you see it, you know? You go through, like, the test drills and the tornado drills, and you do all of that, and to see it in real life, like, it was insane.
Now, the good news is after I finished this interview, there were residents already ready to work, gloves in hand, because they say helping the community move forward is first priority. Live in studio, Tatiana Cash, WTOL 11.
Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers. Chris, what do we know about the extent of these tornadoes at this hour tonight? Where did they all touch down?
Yeah, Jeff, we're confirmed that we've had 2 in our local area, but well over a half of a dozen, if not more, that have already been confirmed in the state of Ohio. Let's get right into the EF2 tornado that was confirmed. This one initially began Crawford County, just outside of New Washington, and went toward Plymouth Township. Winds of 120 miles per hour. And incredibly, this was on the ground for nearly 20 minutes, and it twisted about 10 miles, and at one point 250 yards wide. And when we were doing our coverage last night, we captured a tornado debris signature on radar, which gave us instant confirmation that we had a significant tornado on ground. No major injuries with this. That is the good news with that. As you heard, the Hancock County tornado, this one began in Orange Township, EF1 tornado, 105 miles per hour, the peak winds, ended just outside of Genera, right around 736, and about 3.5 miles was the path length on that one. Not only was it a slew of tornadoes in our area, multiple funnel clouds then across Hancock County into Seneca County, and how about this large hail just outside of Attica and Bloomville? Incredibly large hail, about tennis ball sized hail that was reported across Seneca County and into southern Huron County. And it wasn't just us. Those storms went through much of Ohio, and we were on high alert last night as those storms came through, and including the information that you heard just in this afternoon, the confirmed EF3 tornado down there toward Indian Lake in Logan County. The winds on that one still to be determined as that survey does continue.